there are conversations that are going about with regards to the current state of WoW at the high end, mythic raids and stuff, and raid size. Some people are concerned over that. A couple of folks are kind of leading the charge, and the way that I'm seeing it, I think they come from the perspective of, hey, my team's in trouble. We don't have enough people. It's too hard to recruit. Can we just reduce the raid size or introduce flex or something like that? And it's hard to agree with that sort of stance. That, hey, mythic raid sizes need to be smaller or they need to be flexible. I mean, I can see where they're coming from. Absolutely. It's such a shit day when 17 people show up, but then 3 people aren't there and they happen to be like critical roles, or or you just can't find people, and then it's just like, we can't raid tonight, guys, and that lets everyone down. Nobody likes that feeling of having to cancel a raid. Like, back before flex raiding became a thing, and even after that, sometimes we just wouldn't have enough people showing up. It would really suck when I say, yeah, no raid tonight, guys. And some people are like, oh, and some people are like, whoa, I can do other shit, which is fine. But I don't believe that reducing the raid size is the answer. I feel like that would cause so many issues. Kind of like what it did with 10 and 25 man raids. Because there were some teams that were like, okay, cool, we're going 10-man strict. F that, man. Let's do it. And so there goes more than half of their team. But on top of that, it at the time it created like this really tough meta. But let's cut to now. I feel like if they were to cut the raid size from 20 to like 16, 14, something like that, who's going to be affected? DPS players are going to be woefully affected. There's still going to be 2 tanks. Cool. There's going to be at least 2 healers. You might drop a healer spot. You might drop a healer spot, maybe 2 healer spots when the team is like geared and progression is done. But there's going to be fewer DPS. And so those spots are going to be more competitive. And so the balancing is going to be that much more of a pain in the ass. Class stacking is going to be hated on even more. And not to say that hard work on Blizzard's part means that this can't work. But it feels like by reducing the raid size, it takes away the ability to improvise. Not at the world first level. At the world first level, you got to play exactly to the T, otherwise you're screwed. Latency will get everyone killed. Latency will make a fight impossible. But I'm talking about like once you hit like the mid season or so, when you have like when you have like cross realm raids open and things like that. I feel like if you are not like one of the specs that meet that threshold, then you're just never going to get in the spot. If you're like trying to pug your way into a mythic cross realm group, or if you're trying to get into a team. Right now, there's a certain bar, and people below that bar just don't get to play that spec. They have to switch to a different spec or get the hell out. Reducing the raid size makes that bar go that much higher, and so what was a viable spec, what would have been a viable spec, not that one spec is like 0.001 worse than the rest, you're out. And you're like, what the bitch? And I don't think that's okay either. So I don't know. Like I feel like when it comes to mythic recruitment and stuff like that, two things, I guess. One, those teams just need to work that much harder at being aggressive with recruiting, with ensuring attendance, keeping up morale, that sort of thing. Keeping the team entertained. And I can't give a great perspective on that because I don't do mythic raiding at all. But I still need to, those responsibilities don't really change. I still feel like I need to keep up morale, keep people entertained, keep up a schedule, show must go on, that sort of thing. I think the other part is there's too many realms. there are there are too many realms. Teams have failed to embrace the idea of WoW communities, and Blizzard hasn't done a great job of making WoW communities a thing. It's like, okay, here's the tool. Let's just hope that people figure it out, and that didn't work out. I feel really strongly that you know, Blizzard's responsibility isn't just to make the tool, but to make the tool feel cool. And I'm talking about communities. I'm talking about put in, hey, here's a popular community that does this and this. Let's put it on the launcher. That's dope. You know, it gets people interested, and people who are seeing that from their region are like, hey, that's a pretty cool community. I want to join that, and they can either join or they can at least apply, because all that stuff is cross realm. When it comes to rating, though, I know that's different. But I feel like raid leads who are having that problem, they just need to take it to that next level and try that much harder to get the people that they need to make things fun. But you know, that's where I kind of lose my perspective, because I'd like to think that, yeah, dude, you know, challenging yourself, like all that stuff, you know, that's heck of fun. But I actually think more practically of like, okay, would I want my team to do that? No. My team is 9 of 10 heroic right now. We haven't done a mythic boss, and I was hearing early on, it's like, hey, yeah, dude, you should just do like the first 3 bosses on mythic. They're way easier than heroic Sylvanas. I'm like, well, I don't have 20 people anyway, so do I really want to commit to something like that? Probably not. Let me read some chat though. So if everyone moves to YouTube, won't that make it harder to grow from there? Both Twitch and YouTube are such big spaces, you know? So it's hard to say. Okay, Mage Master says, it's just funny because they've literally iterated on raid sizes in both directions multiple times in its 15 years. Yes, they have. You know, from 40 man, and that didn't last long either. That only lasted in vanilla, and that's it. Then they dipped down to 25 man. That also only lasted one expansion until they did even 10 and 25 man content, because I'm sure that like by the time they were done with BC, they were like, okay, we've got like all this 25 man raid content, and then we have Karazhan and Zulaman, you know, 10 man, 15 man. That's it. So you know, I'm sure they wanted to get more people, and so in Wrath, Cataclysm, Mop, up to the end of Mop, it was the 10-25 man split. You know, the separate but equal raids. Nope, that clearly didn't work out. And then by the end of Mop, that's when they were transitioning their way into Mythic, introducing Mythic difficulty plus flex rating, which I'm like, bless, man. I don't even know how to use that word. I heard it like for the first time a couple days ago. Bless. Flex saved me. It saved so many teams, I think. I can't praise that enough. If there was like a top 10 greatest features in World of Warcraft, flex rating, that would be like really high up there. And then Mythic that we've had for basically the longest. Warlords, Legion, Biffa, Shadowlands. So we've had this. This has been rating for the past like almost 10 years or so, for better or worse. I feel like even for people that say, yeah, WoW's on the decline, it's shit, yada yada yada, I feel like that doesn't make a difference. It just means all it really means is that, you know, you gotta work harder, or that team, or that Mythic teams just need to understand that, you know, hey, if there are this many Mythic teams on the realm, this is pre cross realm. If there are, you know, 5 Mythic teams and they're all struggling to make numbers, I think there are too many Mythic teams, and there needs to be fewer of them, which sucks. But it feels, it goes back to like the old school days before cross server and all that stuff, where guilds just ate each other, and they had to compete, and some just didn't survive. That's, not to force Darwinism in there, but I think that's kind of the way to go at that level. Below that level, heroic, normal, that sort of thing, I fully embrace what we've got. Being able to flex raid, being able to cross realm, that sort of thing. If anything, I would love to see cross realm from the start. I don't see. I see fewer reasons to have something like that. To have not cross realm be a thing. Mythic has to be tough. Cashman says that Mythic has to be tough and specific for the hardcore. It is hardcore. It's meant to be the hardest raids. And I do notice that the people that have these sorts of conversations, that they're trying to make Mythic feel inclusive, and it's not. This shit's hard. It's hard. It's meant to break people. Kael'thas from BC broke people. So, why can't it sucks because I'm almost attacking these teams because it's like, okay, maybe you guys just aren't working out because you're not good enough. Have you considered that? It's so mean to say, but it's worth thinking about, right? It sucks. Let's see. They need to make a 30-man Mythic. Oh man. That'd be rough. So same conversation, right? But then, logistically 30 people means, hey, cool, we can have like, almost every spec can represent themselves. I'm pretty sure that they've run the numbers and have done the internal tests, and they're like, you know what, this works out, but this is kind of rough. And we've, it was clear that even after vanilla, when WoW was still growing and all that they were like, you know what, 40 people, not sustainable, can't do it. So I don't see them ever going back to. I don't see them making raid sizes bigger for those historical reasons. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Is that how they say it? I don't know how they say it. WoW has to figure out how to connect all realms into one. I mean, they virtually have, because cross realm, things like that. The last bastion is the last bastion of server identity is Mythic raids. Without that, and guilds too. Without Mythic raids and the things that separate guilds, it's just kind of a free for all. But what that would also do, if they did connect all the realms into one, it's not just the player pool, it's the economic pool. And I would be very frightened to see how that would work out. If they connected all realms into one, that means all auction houses would connect into one. And that sound, like I said, that sounds kind of frightening. The entire region's worth of resources and gold, all in one thing. I'm not even considering, they want to keep their transfer money and blah, blah. Fuck that. Whatever. Just the impact of that sounds a little frightening to me. But maybe I should kind of think about that a little bit more rather than just be a scared bitch over it. Mage Master says that I'm saying they need to change their philosophy. Old heroic raids before Mythic were still puggable. Having exclusive hard content is fairly recent, but it's been just the past 10 years though. It's been a long time since Mythic became the thing, and I would say that old heroic raids. I think back in that era, before Crossrun became a thing, the reality was that guilds did implode and eat each other. hey, let's merge, let's do this. That was like a much bigger thing than it is today, where people will pug a lot. That's kind of reality of it. They could do something to help Mythic Raider guilds, making transfers easier, letting Horde and Alliance play together, connect more realms. I think that's a big thing. Increasing the player pool, that goes back to something that I've been championing for a long time. Lift the divide. There are talented players on both factions, but each faction, but both factions, notably the Alliance faction, they're having a harder time getting people. And we're seeing, going to that subject, we're seeing more and more these Alliance folks, they're switching to Horde. They don't want to switch to Horde, but they do want to play the game. If if the next expansion does not, if it does not lift the faction divide, I would be upset. I'll quit the game. No, I'm not going to quit the game because I'm on the winning side. I would be upset because what Blizzard's trying to do, as of the lawsuits, is to try to make the game more inclusive, right? Wouldn't lifting the faction divide do a little bit to make it more inclusive? I don't know why I made that sound effect, but that's a big thing. It would help more players play together. If they can get over their racism, if they can get over their virtual racism, I think we'll be okay. And if they can't, that is very much their problem and not the problem of the game. It's like, hey, you probably progress a little bit further if you weren't so racist, right? And then they'll be like, racist? This is a video game. I know, it is just a video game, you racist. But anyway. You want them to connect region-wide to regions. I know they've given all sorts of weird explanations or incomplete explanations. But I think for now, I can just accept that just pure latency would be too big of a problem. It's Mythic raids where latency matters, and you don't. The worst thing the worst thing that you want to see is, yep, the Australian died again. Great. I've seen that now. Not now, but I've seen that in the past where I would have problems because one of our dudes would keep lagging, and this dude happened to be from New Zealand. It's like, okay, that's cool. That's a thing. Okay, cool. Dee's talking. She's doing meeting stuff while Happy is like, there she is, Pie. Haha, you're part of the stream team now, girl. Here, I'll pet you. She wants reassurance. She also wants to walk under the desk and trip over stuff. Yeah, she totally took the thunder out of whatever I was talking about. Bring the factions together. Stop racism. Hashtag me too. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Let's see. Are all RP realms in a region are connected? That's great. That's cool. I didn't know that. I thought that they were they're connected. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I remember the first Mythic tests, Spine, LFI. I'm so behind on chat. I'm sorry, guys. I can make a top 5 greatest features things with 4 of them being flex rated and no one would complain. You know what? I'll do that. I've been wanting to be a little bit more positive on WoW, or at least, talk about less controversial stuff. 5 bestest. Oh, that's a search. Soul Breezy. You dumb butt. Okay, 5 greatest features in WoW of all time. Flex. I'll have Flex take up 2 spots. Wink. Having 30 people in a raid is hard on a heroic level. Yeah, I can't get that many people, period, anyway. Best fix for raided groups is letting Horde Alliance play together. Then I make a scenario out of it called the Big Heist. Puppy! Dun. Make it what is positive at WoW. That could work too. Let me just type that in. What is positive in WoW? That's a very vague statement, actually. Okay, so anyway, let me move on to like one other small topic. It had to do with the patch notes, actually. I'm sorry, with the recent PTR build. They said something that I kind of like. I mentioned it yesterday, but I didn't really think about it, and thankfully WoW had followed up with another article. So part of the patch notes part of the build notes from this week. Here's the bullet point. They say, we're not looking to drastically change the feel of dungeons or available strategies. This is with regards to Legion, Mythic Plus, Time Walking. Very long name, but we're open to changing some things to better match modern player expectations or improve the feel of the dungeon, such as active mitigation mechanics. Snapping fixes could be a part of that. So WoW had followed up with some ability changes that happened, and there are like some dungeon abilities. Like one is called Dark Strike. It's from a boss in the Demon Hunter one. I don't remember the name of the stupid dungeon. But yeah, I think it was like the first boss where they empower themselves, and you need to have your active mitigation up. Otherwise, when you take hits, you take like lots of extra damage, and it happens from other things. There's another boss fight where he hits you with a big attack, and it hits kind of hard. But if you don't have your active mitigation up, then you get knocked back kind of far. And you take some extra damage too. So those things are being scrubbed from Legion, Mythic Plus, Time Walking, or at least we're seeing a build where they scrubbed it. Maybe they'll put it back. Who knows? And after I kind of understood those a little bit better, I'm thinking to myself, the fuck? Why'd you do that? Active mitigation is still a thing. And so I had to kind of like sit and think about this for a little bit. You know, I gave it a good 5 minutes, and then I was like, all right, start stream. Boop. The thought was, active mitigation is still kind of a thing. You know, it's not incredibly impactful. Like it raises your armor, mostly. You take a little bit less damage for X amount of seconds. I think I think the tank meta has been revolving around not so much having your active mitigation up for important stuff, but more like maximizing your active mitigation uptime, so that way you're taking less white hits or you're taking less melee hits. But I don't quite buy into changing the Mythic Plus abilities for that. I want people to feel humbled, to be like, this is what it was like before. Get wrecked, bitch. And I'd be fine with that. You know, let them learn that. You know, this sort of problem that it's trying to solve would solve itself after the tank gets the ass beat to the ground. What the hell happened? Did you have your active mitigation up? I had my iron for up or whatever. Yeah, I'm not fond of that. That doesn't feel. That just doesn't feel right to me. I think they should just leave that in. Beliz. Dun. There are no short coffees. Yeah, there are. It's just that this one's like 45 minutes now, so it's okay. 40 whatever minutes. Mage Master's asking, do you have any type of in-game goals outside of raiding in WoW, like a mount or a transmog you've been farming? Achieving goals is usually positive. Not exactly. I do plan on doing some testing because, I do enjoy collecting transmog, specific transmog. I like collecting certain shields or things that just kind of fancy me. When the new, the 9.1 Covenant gear, when that stuff came out, I was like, dude, this stuff is dope. Because I knew that I would create my own variation of it. That's kind of the, that's kind of the fun of it. It's not so much, people will look at a tier set and they'll be like, that is garbage. That is the worst. And I will look at that and I will be like, that helmet, I will use that helmet. And that's it. So it's all very piecemeal. So I just I like having a lot of clothes, man. I like being able to choose stuff. I like being able to hit that random button and watch the madness. Just watch the chaos. I'm very much pro old god when it comes to that. But yeah, when it comes to my goals, it's very dynamic. Like when 915 drops, I will go in hard. Right now I'm not. I'm slowly gathering more anima and stuff like that. But the plan is for 915, I'm gonna go in hard and I'm gonna collect as much of everything as I can as quickly as I can. Have my paladin switch between all the covenants. Boom, boom, boom. Unlock stuff, upgrade sanctum, blow anima like crazy, and spend it. Yeah, or blow and spend it. Yeah, that's the same thing. Saying it twice. Good going, soul. But yeah, I'm gonna go in really hard so I can collect all this stuff. But then there's a period where I'll like calm down, and I'll be like, all right, cool. I hit certain milestones that I like. I got my wood suit. That's like a big thing. I'm gonna go hardcore with like night phase stuff at first. But then I'll relax and I'll be like, cool. I got another year of this thing, so I'm gonna chill and pop on each day and like do a little bit here, a little bit there, and that's it. I do notice that when it comes to streaming, people like just watching people farm and chat and that sort of stuff, and then every now and then, hey guys, I got a thing. It's very much like being in guild. It's as if we're all in a big guild or something where we're just kind of doing our thing, chatting, talking it up, random stuff, maybe watching other people's videos or whatever, and all of a sudden you clear this boss and then boom, you get this thing that you want. You're like, fuck, check it out, guys, and everyone's like, yay, you did it. That'd be cool. Soul needs a walk-in closet, his WoW house when we get. Oh, dude, that'd be so dope. It would. If we can like fully customize our houses and stuff, which I totally doubt will ever happen. If player housing ever comes to WoW, I doubt we're gonna get that. But if we did, and hello tribe, I would love to just have a long hallway. Just Mogs. Show me Mogs. Now, to be honest, my transmog set collection is not great. It's not that great. There are so many incomplete sets that I have because I'm missing this piece, I'm missing that piece, or whatever. But I would have like numerous paper dolls that are, just standing there with all these complete and incomplete armor racks. And I would get such a kick out of that because I would be able to see this like visual representation. I mean, seeing it all on a list or as a percentage, that's important, but being able to like see it in game, and giving like my self tour, like, okay, so here's what I've gotten over the years. This one, oh, I never got this. I never got that set, motherfucker. And then that one, oh yeah, I completed that one like just the other day. Oh, that's the World Defiler set. I got that. It took me forever to get, but it was so, I would love that sort of feeling. That, and it's not even like anything. It's just me looking at my collection, but it's immersive. I would love to have that sort of feeling in the game. We already have that in the class halls. Yeah, we get like 6 racks. Come on, dude. That's nothing. I want to see straight up paper dolls that we can customize on our own with all sorts of different sets that we, all sorts of different sets and wardrobes that we can put together. So yeah, I'm aware of that one because and even then in my order hall, I don't think I have. I think I maybe have 1 rack set up, and it sucks because it only shows like the helmet and shoulders. I'm like, come on, man, that's hella weak. I'd love to see like a lot more of that. He wants to have it like walking into Ross before Christmas. Oh, dude, that'd be Just imagine, I'll be like, all right, everyone walk in. This is the grand opening of my new transmog museum. Check it out. I have all this transmog that I want to show you. It'll be dope. And then I open the doors, and then you walk in and you see like it's just a celebration of transmog roulette. One paper doll after another. Random. Boom. Random. Boom. Random. It would be like it'd just be gore. It would look like I don't know what it would look like. It would just be this, it'd be a seizure. There we go. There'd be so many different colors and just random crap going that you'd be like, oh, I am not going to take a step further into this place, because if I do, I'm going to get infected with whatever this is, right? It's art. Yeah, that's what I would say. Guys, it's art. This is the each one of these transmogs is an expression. Yeah, dude, it's an expression of random, bro. I can't believe you made a 2-hour-long video of this. It's a long hallway, I would say. It's a really long hallway. I put a lot of time into this. You know how much wood I had to chop down to make all these paper dolls? Y'all don't understand, man. So it's art. God damn, I want player housing so bad, dude. I would, yeah, I'd be so all over it. Like I hopped into my apartment in Final Fantasy 14 the other day, and I immediately hopped out. I was just like, I don't want to do this because it's not WoW. I feel so uninvested into what the game has presented to me that I'm like, I just want WoW player housing, right? It's people would tell me in conversations, it's like, dude, if you want player housing so bad, why don't you play this game or that game? I'm like, I'm definitely interested in trying it out, absolutely, but I don't want to play a game for its player housing per se. I want player housing in WoW. That's what I want. As impossible of an ask that is, I want that shit because it'd be dope. It'd be awesome. I want player housing. I want the faction divide to be lifted. And there's like way more other things that just don't come to mind.